Carlos or an update?
Um,
Status?
yeah, Carlos is still recovering. Nothing dramatic to report, but uh, will be most likely not involved in this match.
Did you feel something? Was it like the same thing in Minnesota, or is it something different that you feel something after that assist?
What was in Minnesota?
That I think it was a hamstring, right? That you felt something.
Maybe similar. So, like I said, nothing dramatic. Shouldn't be out very long, but for right now, um, isn't exactly at 100%.
Speaking about Chicho, he got asked yesterday about there was any interest on behalf of LAFC to bring him back, and also about the circumstances for him to leave in the team. He say, "Well, I'm okay with my former teammates. I think the right person to be asked about this should be the coaching staff. You, as a head of the coaching staff, do you have anything to mention about that?
No.
If it feels special for you, like it's surrounding about the Hispanic Mexican media, that LAFC is still the only favorite team from the MLS to win the League Cup."
I don't know. It depends on if you look at the draw and who you play. It's so much football to be played up until then. I'm not one to pick favorites to save the here. I mean, our league is built on parity. The level field is the level of quality in each team is pretty close. So it really depends on form and health as to who really the favorites are. If we are healthy and in form, we have a very good squad. I do know that, and we know that.
In terms of preparing the game, the fact that it's a familiar opponent from MLS, is that a preference in that sense at this stage?
It makes the workload a little less for us coaches, and the capacity to learn new habits and behaviors of opponents for our players isn't as demanding. So in some ways it's less work, but there is some danger in that too, that you treat it like a normal game and go through the motions, which is not. It's a knockout tournament. We have 90 minutes to get the job done or go to PKs. So we'll be ready. But yeah, I mean, as far as workload goes, it's a little less because we've seen the outside a few times.
So how long were you expecting to see Philip Krastev on the pitch with the team? When he could be ready?
He's ready to go now.
In terms of visa, I know you guys are waiting for Mario's visa, which should be available, or is there an update on that?
Should be hopefully done soon. I'll double check, but I don't have an answer for you right now.
Steve, I thought that Mateus had a terrific match against Juarez. I know you moved him more centrally in the midfield. Can you just talk about making that adjustment and what you saw from him, and will you start him in that particular role, and what he brings to the offense when he's playing in that position?
Yeah, we were also happy with Matty's performance. I think it's a keen observation from you, John. He is a player who really can play in between. He's between an attacker and a midfielder, so really an offensive-minded midfielder, but who's willing and able physically to put in the work of a defensive midfielder. So really fits well into our system and our three-man system in the midfield. His development has been fantastic. He's learning. He can play multiple positions, so his football IQ is obviously above average, which is always a plus. So, we plan on using Matty in both positions throughout the remainder of the season. A lot has to do with who is around him, what the opponent looks like, and we'll use him in the most effective way possible. Regarding tomorrow, we'll just have to wait like everybody else and see.
Next question, Josh Gross.
Thank you. Steve, is Chicho a player you have to game plan for specifically, or do you not look at it that way?
Normally, yes, if he wasn't an ex-LAFC player, but his qualities and personality and characteristics are well known here. So in those regards, no. But I believe other clubs would do their homework on Chicho.
How does that familiarity play into the hands of your defenders, and how you plan to neutralize him in the attack?
Well, knowing what his behaviors and habits are is helpful, and having those in the back of your mind before he gets on the ball or makes a run is also helpful. So what actually happens, nobody knows. We'll find that out tomorrow, but that additional information before you process and to make a decision, before you process the information and make a decision on the field as a defender, that additional information is helpful, yes.